from Ian Tomic. Do we expect a 40mm Rolex Explorer 2 at Baselworld this year?
A 40mm, 40 millimeter?
He's asking a 40mm Explorer 2.
I would be very surprised.
I think, unfortunately, the 216570 is the closest Rolex is ever going to come to doing a tribute watch of the Explorer 2.
Yeah.
And that's a tribute watch really in color scheme only. I can't see them launching a reference that's 2mm smaller, just because there's not enough separation. There's a huge gulf between the look and the fit of the Sea Dweller 40 and the Deep Sea, which is 44, but really wears so much bigger than the 44mm Yachtmaster 2. It's almost like a different watch.
I agree with you. What I think they're going to do, and I'm just guessing here, this is pure guesswork, but whenever Rolex is about to release a new model, they do it in white gold first. So they did the Pepsi bezel in white gold, because that's just how they always release it in precious first.
Yes.
So if I had to, bet some money on it, I might say we might see a Pepsi in steel.
Okay.
But I'm just guessing. And I think if that happens, get on the waiting list before it's even announced, because that's going to blow the ceramic Daytona out of the water.
Yeah, that would absolutely happen. My thoughts on a steel Pepsi bezel, I always considered the possibility that it might be the first steel reference of the next generation GMT. Like, let's say they say, okay, look, we're going to go with an anniversary piece. We have a nice anniversary coming up in 2020. That will be for us, let's see, it's be like the 65th anniversary for the watch. And they'll say, okay,
good math.
Let's, and this is going to be one of those debates. Well, when did Pan Am pilots get it? What was the true launch? So the bottom line is that I think we could see a new GMT that year in 2020.
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. For me, I always realized the trend that precious comes first. So I think it may happen this year, but it's a stretch. Even I acknowledge that's me wishing.
I mean, realistically, Rolex you can't predict, because let's face it, coming into 2016, everyone was saying, okay, finally, the time has come. They've launched new GMTs, they've launched new subs, even new sub no dates. They've redone the date just and the date 8 a couple of times. They've had a date 8 2, they've had a date just 2, they've had a date 840. Now they're going to redesign the Daytona. It's been a long time. 2000 was years ago.
And everybody was upset. Or not everybody, but a few people were upset that the Daytona wasn't made in 42 millimeters.
Yeah, everyone was shocked. First in 2013 when they came out with the giant platinum anniversary, not giant in size, but giant in mass.
And weight, right?
And so it wasn't a new Daytona. People thought we'd see a new Daytona. We didn't.
Mm-hmm. No, we didn't.
2016, you could have sworn they had all of their model revisions under their belts. The Daytona's time had come. It didn't happen.
It's just, I guess if you're Rolex, why mess with a good thing? That's why they're so successful, right? Because they don't do anything drastic.
And they're unpredictable. They're unpredictable as all hell. That's what they do so great. Honestly, the next watch they redesign could be the last model line they redesigned.
And
they never tell you.
Rumors sneak out of every brand. Like before I saw HH for Basel, everybody kind of knows what other brands are going to do. No one knows. Unless you're the president of Rolex.
Yeah.
You don't know what Rolex is going to do until it happens.
You can imagine like a Sith Lord like chokehold on the guy who tries to smuggle that out of Geneva.
Exactly. Yeah.
No exaggeration either. So I just want to finish up my answer to Horology Blog's question. If you wanted to start with the Reverso, 2 questions. First, how big is your wrist? Reversos wear large. Always remember that they're drilled high in the lugs, so they always wear bigger than their lug-to-lug dimension suggests. The 42 lug to lug, you got to expect that this is going to wear like roughly a 38, 39, 40 millimeter round watch. And the big Reversos, the Grand Reversos, the 976s, the 986s, huge watches how they wear. And the strap does flare. It fights the curve of your wrist. So try before you buy.
And I will say this, I obviously have a much larger wrist than you do, Tim. I can wear a Grand Tie no problem, at least in my opinion.
I would agree with that. Smaller is a style. It's a traditional, more conservative way of showing respect for the industry precedent and for style past. And, everything that's old ultimately becomes new again. So we're seeing that with the downsizing cases.
Absolutely.
I would say if you want to look for a classical modern Reverso, look for a Reverso Duo, a caliber 854 in the Grand Tie case like Federico says. This is great because it gives you that perfect size with arguably the most relevant form of the Reverso in its post-sports watch life. We all agree no one's using it for polo anymore. So using that second side as a platform for a complication makes sense. And since we've had the Reverso Duo since 1994 continuously in the catalog,
Yes.
it's become a tradition in its own right. I say get an 854 caliber Reverso Grand Tie case with the Duo and you won't go wrong.
And you have essentially 2 watches and you'll never be bored.
That's true. You can just flip it all day long. Boring meetings, flip flop. I've done it.
I love the click that it makes, when it...
It is a simple pleasure in our lives.